telephone call tax. And journalists in Cameroon face a lot of difficulties. One of them is access to information. They are most often confronted to physical harassment, kidnaps, tortures, and many more on the occasion of celebration of the International Day to Fight Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. And the governor of the Central Region, Nasir Pobia, has tasked councils and inhabitants to deliver the city council's thoughts of urban disorder before the start of the African Nations Cup. And rescuers are searching for survivors in the wreckage of a 22-story block that collapsed under construction in Nigeria's largest city, Lagos. Those were major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. Members of the Permanent Commission on Tax and Accounting Harmonization in the CEMAC sub-region are currently examining the draft text on telephone calls tax. They are meeting in Douala within the framework of the 13th ordinary session of the Permanent Commission. As we hear the following story with Gladys Ambo-Diba.
The request few years back by the Economic and Monetary Commission of Central Africa CEMAC for member states to implement tax on telephone calls is still a call for concern. Reason why members of the CEMAC Permanent Commission for Tax and Accounting Harmonization are meeting in Douala to examine the draft text on community tax on telephone calls, a reform which they intend to make more credible and minimize risk of disputes. From the text that has been submitted, a deduction of 20 francs CFA from each telephone call has been proposed as tax. Today, experts will examine the proposals, make amends, and present the new modalities at the end of the meeting. For 3 days, members will also reflect on strategies through which they could obtain additional, consistent and sustainable funding for projects in the CEMAC zone.
CEMAC is having many problems for many years now concerning its financement. So Professor Naondo, once he took the managementship of the CEMAC, he decided to work on providing CEMAC of a new mechanism of financement. You know, the ongoing process is not sufficient to care about all the projects that the CEMAC is working on. So the workshop that we are having now with CEMAC is to finalize this process.
Once validated by the CEMAC Permanent Commission on Tax and Accounting Harmonization, the reforms will be submitted to CEMAC heads of states for adoption.
And businessmen in Cameroon's economic city Douala have fully embraced bilingualism. They made a commitment in front of members of the Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission during their maiden visit here in Cameroon's economic city Douala. The delegation was led by its president, Peter Mafani Musonge. More in the following story. This is the first official visit of the National Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission in Douala, November 1. Peter Mafani Musonge and his entire team are out to evaluate, sensitize, and bring businessmen closer to the two official languages in Cameroon.
So we came to sensitize them and explain the spirit of the new law and expect that they will, in the very nearest future, help in the promotion of the two official languages of our country, which are English and French.
Exposés in the hall focused on the advantages of the bilingual nature of Cameroon on businesses, economic impact, the law creating the organ, and on growing hate and xenophobia, how to possibly address and defy hate at all levels.
We are to set up Article 4, 8 and 10 we have to take our responsibility now to share this law with our member because we think that the bilingualism is not only the strength of our country, it will be the benefit, and the multiculturalism also have to be the opportunity of our country.
From the employers' cartel, JICAM, the Commission equally exchanged with the Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Crafts on the importance of rendering enterprises fully bilingual. The Commission is in Douala for 5 days and is expected to visit public, private and para-public structures to let them understand the needs of fully embracing the 2 official languages and boost Cameroon's economy. Journalists in Cameroon face a lot of difficulties. One of them is access to information. They are most often confronted to physical harassment, kidnaps, torture, threats, and many more on the occasion of celebration of the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes against journalists. Some 13 ambassadors have highly condemned such rough actions on Cameroonian journalists, as we hear the following story.
Statistics reveals that over 1,200 journalists have been killed between 2006 and 2020 for reporting news and bringing information to the public. They are mostly subjected to countless threats, kidnapping, torture, and other physical harassment while in search of information. Ending impunity for crimes against journalists is therefore one of the most pressing issues to guarantee freedom of expression and information for all journalists. It is in this line that 13 ambassadors and other members of diplomatic corps met in Yaoundé this November 1st in prelude of the commemoration of the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes against Journalists. This November 2nd, time to come rescue of Cameroonian journalists.
Tonight we announced the launching of the Cameroonian network of embassies who are members of the Global Coalition for Media Freedom. So there's about 10 embassies present here in Cameroon.
It is equally a global decision to launch a local version of coalition in 10 countries, Cameroon inclusive, with the goal of promoting freedom of the media. This coalition is co-presided by Canada and the United Kingdom, with at least 50 member countries, 10 of them having a high diplomatic relations with Cameroon. The initiative is expected to foster cooperation between the diplomats, media owners and workers, and of course, Cameroonian authorities for a more liberal press.
And the governor of the Central Region, Nasiri Povia, has tasked councils and inhabitants to deliver the city from all sort of urban disorder before the start of the African Cup of Nations. Visiting some councils in Yaoundé this Tuesday, the Central Regional Boards assembled on necessary contributions that can render the city free from urban disturbance. As we hear the following story, Wahai Sencha.
Befitting and welcoming before the Total Energies African Cup of Nations in January is the objective of these consultations between the governor of the Central Region, Nasiri Povia, and the different councils.
We have asked the population, the councils, that's why we came down, to ask the councils, the traditional rulers, and all those who are involved in the campaign of salubrity to be able to work to clean the gutters, clean the bushes.
The exchange with council workers of Yaoundé 1, Yaoundé 2 and Yaoundé 7, alongside traditional rulers of the municipalities, permitted the gathering of real urban disorder actions in the nation's political capital and possible solutions to restore order and responsible behavior. Months to the soccer fiesta and Yaoundé hosting 2 groups at the Olembe Sports Complex and the Amadou Ahijo Stadium. Nasiri Povia says it is time to put the city of 7 hills in the AFCON colors.
Put on banners, T-shirts, animate the place so that the people who have not even come to Yaoundé before, only just seeing what is happening, will know that Yaoundé is preparing very hard for the match and for the competition. So they will be able to want to come even if they don't have in their program.
Aside the careless throwing of garbage in the city, the traditional rulers also decry the growing security threats in quarters like Chinga Briqueterie, Mukolo and others, with aggressive pickpockets multiplying by the day. With the high sanitary demands in Yaoundé, the governor announces the recruitment of some 1,000 volunteers to give a helping hand to his Zakam and council cleaning agents, with intensive clean-up campaigns to kick off on November 10.
Digital innovation has eased possibilities of rebuilding a broken tooth within a short period of time. The new dental care and treatment methods unveiled in Yaoundé November 1 shows that patients can resolve their tooth issues without going through very much pains, as has been the case in the past. As we hear the following story.
Valorizing and fostering the reading culture in the Cameroonian youths is the objective of the upcoming book fair in the nation's political capital.
The festival is going to be bringing a lot of writers and a lot of publishers and of course readers, and of course mobilizing a lot of youths to come together and see how they can reaffirm the importance of reading.
With the high influence of the digital era, the writers and book lovers are equally seeking to blame and encourage the exploitation of both the hard and soft copies of books.
The problem is not just reading hard copies of books. The problem is, first of all, reading, having that reading culture that you are able to read. So the hard copies are there, the place of the hard copies of books are there, and the place of the soft copies are there. No problem if, as a young person, you want to read soft copies. So the main thing is that you read.
And talking to the press, this November 1st in Yaoundé, the different authors say this second edition of the book fair under the patronage of the Ministry of Arts and Culture will also be crowning some young people for their effort to promote the reading culture.
Awards will be given to some young people in schools, because activities started right back some months ago where young people, they were having an essay competition, and through that essay competition, young people who made it successfully are going to be receiving prizes.
The Book Festival Week at the premises of the Yaoundé City Council is scheduled to commence on November 10th, 2021.
And the population of Kadei division in the east region of Cameroon are the latest beneficiaries of Serac's humanitarian largesse, the First Lady's maternal donation in the form of medical equipment, medical material and equipment, alongside agricultural input and tools to the rural women, were handed to the population of Kettle and Bororo during the weekend. Beatrice Gamo was part of those who were in Kadei division. Her story.
Great ambience during the weekend at Kadei division of the East region of Cameroon, as the humanitarian train of Secular Friends of Cameroon Serac made a stop there. This with gifts such as medical material, medication, modern agricultural imports, material alongside other equipments. Maternal support from the First Lady, represented here by Solange Lay, and delegation to the needy population of Kete and Botoro. Donation towards adequate health care and to lighten the efforts and works of rural women. Kete is a district with 4 health areas, 11 public health facilities, of which are 9 integrated health centers, 1 district medical center, and 1 district hospital. She's bordered with Ngura, Central African Republic, Baturi, and Uli, with a population of about 76,556 inhabitants, made up of the Gbaya, Bororos, Furbes, and others. They also play host to Central African, Chadian, and others from West Africa, and saw the huge demand for resources and facilities. Why the different speakers and representatives of the beneficiaries saluted the offer as God sent, and used the occasion to put forward their challenges and difficulties, such as lack of road, medical ambulance, surgery equipment, and many. Another issue of concern was that of birth certificate. Many children in this region are without this first official public document, while the sensitization, education and registration of the population by the National Civil Status Office. It is with the assurance of ensuring proper use of the donations that the SERAC delegation left Kete carrying the message of the population to the First Lady also.
And we take this advertorial of PMUC to know the latest winner of Paris Mutual Cameroonese. The winner has expressed a satisfaction. Kejan Henry and Teme completes that story.
In just 1 month, PMUC has produced dozens of millionaires across Cameroon. The recent case in question was in Douala and Bafoussam, where a synchronized ceremony to hand over the checks worth 47 million and 40 million CFA francs respectively to combined Kente winners of the October 21st Sunday race. The month of October has really produced multi-millionaires in Douala and Bafoussam, a check of 40 million and 47 million francs respectively. But is promising with a 650 million francs stake.
We
are happy to organize this ceremony to hand over a check of more than 47 million francs, alongside Bafoussam, where a similar ceremony is holding, presided at by the general manager, to hand over a check of 40 million francs CFA. At PMUC, it has been cash flow since October, and I must add, this has been going on for more than 25 years now.
In Douala, it was at the headquarters of PMUC Aqua, while in Bafoussam, it was at PMUC's regional office. October has certainly opened the floodgates for stakeholders ahead of the festive season. The strength of PMUC resides on its sales ability. Let me say, our sales ability is what makes us happy because we focus on training of sales agents who will actually play the role of a link between the stakers and the companies. So our sales agents actually advise the stakers, give them the right approach concerning the games. That is why today in Douala we have too many millionaires. The magic winning numbers were selected at Delis Aqua, while in Bafoussam, the winning ticket emerged from an experienced sales agent. After the arrivals, my customer came back with his ticket to confirm. I said, "Bravo, you can pick up your check at the office."
It is a joy for me to know that my customer has won 47 million francs CFA. He is an old staker who has played for long, so I encourage him to stake the combined race.
The bank was also there to attest and represent the interest of the happy winners. We are here to express our support to our partners, PMUC, and to concretize our partnership. You know, there are a lot of skeptics who ask questions whether people really win. We are here to testify that it is true. Not only that, but to help the winners in their endeavors, in their investment. Despite the economic hardship, PMUC has always respected its engagement with customers. So it is your time to play and win big.
And that advertorial brings us to the end of this edition of Newscast on Canal the International. But just to inform you that the divisional delegate for communication from Kokitunja has been set free a while ago, and he is now with his family. We'll come back to that in our subsequent editions of Newscast. And coming up next is the brief for Leo Prezi. We'll also have news in the French language at exactly 19h50. We'll arrange this link. I'll be back tomorrow, same time. Good night.
International.